relations with environments, relations with human, and then relations with God. So that's how he actually grow the coffee. Hi, my name is Ayu. I've been born and raised with coffee. This is my father. His name is Ayu Sudana. He used to live actually in Hong Kong and Singapore, traveling the world, but then he decided to come back. And obviously when he's traveled and he met a lot of the people actually drinking coffee, that's how he actually start to know about coffee, and then he want to plant coffee on his own farm. And it took a few years for him to convince my granddad to convert his rice field to become coffee farm. But then at the end, after married with my mom, they both able to convince my granddad, and then they decided to convert their rice field to become coffee farmers. So I would like to introduce you to my mom. Her name is Wayan Sari. Together with my dad, she has a vision of growing coffee in a natural way. That's how actually they met at the first times. She traveled to the west of Bali and decided to visit this village, this town, being a sales girl. Just like she's selling like silver jewelry and equipment for praying. She met my dad. They talk about certain things, obviously, you know, and how when you met at a young age, and they talk about coffee, and that's how they actually fell in love. And then everything they share together is all of a cup of coffee, and then decided to get married together and then plan the journey to be able to plant coffee in this town. He started growing coffee in 1980s, and the way the technique is growing coffee is different to other farmers as well. Bali, we have two regions where is the well-famous one is Kintamani, Arabica Kintamani. In my area, we are part of Badung. Badung is another city of Bali. Different way of growing coffee between Kintamani is on the shading side of art. In Kintamani, people grow coffee with the orange trees, and then where we are in Badung, we are technically growing coffee in the shade way, where nothing is involved with the production plants. So when you're planting orange trees surround your coffee plants, you literally have to use pesticides to protect the orange trees, and to obviously to produce great orange and juicy orange. But where here we're more focused on the coffee. We grow organic way, where we only pick what is given to us, and with the shade trees around it, instead of just looking after the coffee tree, but we're also looking after the environments as well. Between the shade trees and the coffee plant, they give and take. So basically, during the summer times, we have the leaves is falling between the trees, which is helping the soil to get natural compost, and obviously as well the trees to get a bit more exposed to the sun. We're giving the right timing for the coffee to be mature by themselves, without for us to speed up the process. This one, these beans is going to be turned red, but they are not turning red at the same time. And then we have to only pick the red cherry out of the coffee beans. This is like a short pictures on showing how we process the coffee. Basically from the hand picking, so we only hand pick the red cherry, and those red cherry made it to the processing machine. We remove the skin, we make it a full wash, and then after that we drying it directly. After the drying process take place and before actually made it to our roastery machine. So this is called grading. So we selecting the best quality beans, and everything we sorting it out by hand. And obviously my mom is in charge on the operation side of actually picking the best coffee beans before its roasting process start. I was actually planting these coffee trees as well. You know, since I was 5 years old, I always go to the farm and see what my parents doing. For me, not to disturb them, so they always encourage me to help them out with collecting coffee luwak. Luwak coffee is actually coffee is fermented by animal. This animal called luwak in Indonesian, but it's actually seabed in English. This luwak, well known as, has a very good nose, which is he can predict which beans are the best one for made it to their stomach. So basically more like juicier, and then they can consume it directly. And that's being fermented inside of the stomach, and then literally poop it out like, you know, a few hours after. Luwak, it comes out only the evening, and they only dedicate their times to eat coffee is during the harvest. So in 3 months of the year, they eat only coffee. And because they love sweet, so they eat coffee, they eat papaya. So that's why the fermentation sometimes very different, you know, like with very fruity. And even the taste of the coffee luwak is the original one, the wild coffee luwak is much more tastier. We use it as a family drinks. That's something that people come here to our house and then they drink coffee luwak. So we give them coffee luwak, and a lot of people says, oh, this is really nice coffee, but they don't know what it is. And that was before commercialized. A lot of farmers take a shortcut because they don't understand how actually the coffee luwak work. So with that, a lot of farmers actually cage the luwak and then they feed them with coffee. So basically, the luwak will only eat something they actually given to them. So they don't have a choice to pick which beans are really good for, you know, for them and which is the best one. I want to bring luwak reputations back, because at Bali Beans we still producing wild coffee. So we still collecting poop every time harvest time. I would love to help the local farmers as well to produce their coffee in better quality, and helping them to distributing it to any part of the world.